Hello! I see familiar faces. Good. Tonight, we're going way back in time. Okay? We go back to October 2010. This was when Instagram went public. And all my friends here in Penang, they told me how good Instagram is, how easy it is, how fast it is. And I thought, well, I want to have this Instagram.
What? Instagram?
So I went to the supermarket. And I looked in the shelves where you have Maggi mee and all these instant noodle dishes. And I couldn't find it. So I asked the shop assistant, and she said, no, sir, we don't carry that shit. But she said, try in the pharmacy next door. I wasn't trying. The pharmacy? I said, oh, maybe it's like a weight loss program. So I went to the pharmacy. The guy had no idea. And then it clicked. It can't be a weight loss program. A weight loss program is not called Instagram. It's maybe called Insta Kilo, Insta Pound, but not Instagram. See, this is when I learned that not everything, when Penang people say it's good, is food. Of course, I found out what Instagram actually is. And I tell you guys, Instagram is to WhatsApp what Sudoku is to crossword puzzle. Sudoku is crossword puzzle for people who don't know shit. And Instagram is to WhatsApp for people who cannot read and write. That's the food thing. You know, you realize that you lived already way too long in Malaysia when you come back to your home country and people stare at you when you're eating. I didn't know why, and then I found out. Because I'm very, very used to cut my schnitzel with a spoon. Yeah, in Malaysia, you don't get a knife with your food, right? And there's a reason for it. And I blame the Brits for it. I think the British people.
Blame the French!
Yeah. Welcome back. Right. See, the thing, the Brits are cowards. When they colonized Malaysia, they didn't want the locals to have knives, because knives can work as a weapon, right? And it's all about crime. And it worked. Because imagine to be robbed on spoon point. I honestly think that the only people here in Malaysia that have knives in front of people in public are actually hairdressers, right? So for you Brits, it's maybe not a good idea to go to a hairdresser. And I also don't like local hairdressers very much. My hairdresser is Japanese. That works. We were allies. Still not good for the Brits. So here's the thing, right? When I told my Korean friend Watson that I don't like local hairdressers, he looked at me and was like, I don't understand. You white people, you like to go to local hairdressers. Because when they do their job, they give you a head massage, and then, you know, they tell you nice stories, happy endings and all. And I say, Watson, that gives a whole new meaning to the word head massage. Well, see, the thing is, when in Europe, for example, when you go to a hairdresser, you have to make an appointment beforehand, right? Unlike in Poland, when you go to a hairdresser, you get served immediately. Penang, not Poland. Poland. It's actually a very strange name for a country. Poland. Because in Germany, Po is baby speech for your bum. So it's a bum country. The ass land. Yeah. Must come from Hitler jokes. You know, when Hitler, Adolf, the brown bugger, when he invaded Poland, he came from the west, so that would be your left ass cheek. While Russia came from the east, that would be the right ass cheek. And they met in the middle, and this is when the shit hit the ceiling. They have these Polish jokes in Germany. It's like, Thomas, you're German. Do you think your English is good? It's like, yeah, it's Polish enough. Penang, you go to a car wash, you know, it says wash, wax, Polish. Sorry. On that matter, a friend of mine told me that here in Penang, a popular bookstore, you can actually buy, because I just talked about Hitler, the book that Hitler wrote, Mein Kampf, right? In Germany, I would be in prison when I had this book. And she said she found this book in the bookstore being shelved next to Anne Frank's diaries. Whoa. So I thought, well, I buy that book for like research for comedy. And I went to a popular bookstore as well, not the same branch, because it was in that branch where I looked next to Anne Frank's diary and it wasn't there, so I had to look a little bit more. So used to be a cook, I went to the cookbook section, you never know with Hitler, and then I found it, and it was shelved in the self-enrichment section. Yeah. See, I used to be a cook, right? And it's pretty annoying as a cook when all these civilians come up to you and they talk about recipes and how good they can cook and all of that. And I thought being a comedian, this wouldn't happen to me. Bullshit. Now suddenly everybody's a comedian. They tell you how to write jokes and what's funny and all of that. And so, right before my last gig that I had, about 2 weeks ago, this guy comes up to me and he says, "You're Thomas, the German comedian." I said, "Yeah, that's me." And he says, "You make these jokes about Hitler and the Jewish people." And I was like, "Yeah. Tonight, I want you to be a little bit careful about this." It's odd, right? And he said, "Because my father died in a concentration camp." And please, what do you say? I mean, what is this? And he kept on speaking, and he said, "You never mind too much, because it was a very quick death. He fell from a watchtower." Okay, guys, I thought this was good enough to be into my repertoire. So, yeah, where was I? Hairdressers, right? See, when I was in France, I had to go to a hairdresser, and the thing is, for a German to go to a hairdresser in France, is a little bit awkward because the German language inherits words from other countries, French, right? So the French have a word that they use for all sorts of meetings and everything. And that word in German language we only use for romantic meetings, dates, where you have some sex maybe later on. So you can imagine me going into a French hairdresser and talk to the guy and say like, listen, maybe later the week, maybe Friday, 5 p.m., you have time for a rendezvous with me? And by the way, Watson, he's not here tonight, Watson, they don't give you a head massage in France. Thank you, that's all from me tonight. Thank you.